Hello everyone, thank you for listening to this video. I am the Bleach lady, so to speak, and I just wanted to talk about the article that was released on the BBC, just a follow-up onto it. I want to say thank you to people who have shared it and have talked about it, but I think I want to talk about the essence of why that article was made. First of all, I want to say I am fine. Some people reached out to me because they thought I was not well and they thought I had given my daughter bleach. That is not the case. But I'm going to explain why the article was made and why we need to talk about this. Now, the word bleach is not the industrial bleach. For people in the mainstream community who don't understand the reason why, the notion behind the word bleach. The bleach is actually an MMS protocol that was used a couple of years ago that was sold as a supplement to help alleviate issues that autistic children were having, and a lot of parents were sold this supplement to help their children. Now, the reason it's called bleach is because it's got the scientific formula which is similar to bleach. So in the autism community or environment, so to speak, we called it the bleach. So that's the bleach we were talking about, not the industrial bleach. So I just wanted to put it out there and clear it there. And I watched the comments. People reached out to me and people put on the social media sites. And yes, some people knew what I was talking about. Some people, it was horrendous, like, oh my God, throw them in jail, lock them up, they need to be stripped, they need to be that, oh, is the mom okay? But the truth of the matter is, this is something that is rampant. This is something that is still going on in 2021 and will even continue into 2030 if we don't really restructure and talk about ways where we could make the services more accessible to people so that we don't fall into this loophole. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Years ago, I was offered this supplement to help, with my child. Now, as an autism parent, you would know, you find yourselves in the quest for trying to find what to use to help your children. You would meet what I would call, in my opinion, pseudo professionals. And pseudo professionals it doesn't exempt anyone. I'm talking about pseudo doctors, pseudo pastors, pseudo imams, pseudo human beings who capitalize on vulnerable people. Just some of them want to either make a profit for a supplement that they're selling, or to give advice that probably was given to them. I am on a lot of autism support groups on Facebook and in social media, and we all know we still have parents that come in to ask that question: how do we recover autism? How do I recover my autistic child? How do I cure my autistic child? And we all know that conversation is still going on. People are still looking for a cure for their autistic children. Now, I've been doing this for 19 years, as you could see my daughter on that article. And I am now on the other side where I'm not only taking care of my daughter, but I'm also helping parents. And I find that there are a lot of new parents asking those questions because the new parents are still coming to terms with the diagnosis, don't have the information, are overwhelmed, and don't know where to go. If you watched the article to the very end, you can actually see that we talked about a big disconnect between services and parents. Now, we talk about autism awareness and we light the building blue and all that, but I really question Autism Awareness, because who is the awareness for? Who are they targeting? Because there are a lot of autism families that still don't know what to do with their children, and I come across them every single day. So when we talk about awareness, who are we targeting? And I feel with Autism Awareness, we should actually it should go side by side with autism acceptance, because I think autism is a word that has been so used so rampantly now that I think anybody you ask on the road autism will probably know what autism is, but probably wouldn't know exactly the details of what is involved in autism. So for new parents who are just starting out, that don't know where to go, we need a big revamp in services. The service is a bit harsh on the parents. As parents, you have a lot to deal with. You're still coming to terms with what you have in front of you, and then the services, you've got these ginormous forms to fill, with terminologies that you don't even understand. How do that's a big one. I'm dealing with this, I don't have help, I don't even know what to fill in the form. And we've known over the years that how you actually fill your form is key to getting what you really want. If you don't know the language to use when you're filling these forms to get access to services, to professionals, you're not going to get a good standard service. It's going to be substandard. So we need a big revamp, and which is why we talked about these issues. Now, I believe that if the services are family friendly, child friendly, taking into account every family on the autistic spectrum, regardless of color, religion, creed, and ethnicity, there would not be room or the gap or the crack for these families to fall under, to now be subjected to pseudo people who want to sell them things to sell. You also have to be very much aware that there are communities, I would call them the ethnic minority communities. Now, I want to explain now, ethnic minority communities, in my case, is not the same as me talking about the BME or the BAME community, which is the Black Asian minority ethnic. No. In the autistic community, the ethnic minorities are the smaller cultural groups living in the UK or in the US that have small representation in the system. And because of the small representation, they have their own ethos, culture, and faith, beliefs that they work with. Now, these cultures are not so friendly with the system. The system doesn't take account into that. And for that reason, these families are disenfranchised, are forgotten, are lost, and are, so to speak, discriminated against by the same system that is set up to actually help them. I need to be very clear on that. This is not just the Black community, this is not just the Asian community. I'm even talking about the English community. I'll give an example. An English lady who is married to another culture, and then they have a child with autism. That lady, as much as she is an English person born and bred in the United Kingdom or probably in the United States, has issues because by getting married to another culture, their cultural beliefs are stepped in and will impede or make it a little bit difficult when we're assessing it. Because, to be honest, 2021, cultural diversity is a thing. It's huge. It's a thing. Cultural diversity is the real reason why these families are not having access to services. And because of cultural diversity, the services are set up in such a way that it doesn't cater to this. And this is the reason, the sole reason why the Black communities are lost in the system. This is the reason why, the system there's always reports about, oh, the black community is forgotten about, the Asian community is forgotten about. That is the reason. Cultural diversity. We need to shine the light on cultural diversity. Now, culture is not, again, I repeat, culture is not black, Asian. Culture is behavior. You're born in an environment, you grow up with beliefs, you grow up with ideologies, you grow up with a system that you only know. Other people might not know it, but it is real for you. So looking at the article and looking at the comments where people were going, oh my God, that's horrendous. Oh my God. Oh, is that in Africa? Is that barbaric? Funny enough, the bleach thing is not even an African thing. It actually originated, again, don't quote me on this. I think the doctor was either in the UK or in the US. I can't remember. This is ages ago. But it did not even originate in Africa, you know. But it's happening here in this very environment that is supposed to be having these super systems that are not working. You know, let's really, talk about it. And for people, that were rubbishing the article or making comments like, oh, how can people spell such stories? Unfortunately, the gospel truth is that's not your reality. It is another person's reality. Because you don't know about it, because it's not happening to you, or you've not heard about it, doesn't mean it isn't real, because it's real. It is happening. And I know a lot of parents, when that article came out, they actually said, yeah, you're right. I know, because there were two sides to it. The parents that knew what I was talking about, they all spoke up. And the comments were not just from the ethnic minority. They were also the English, the Welsh, the Scottish families who knew about this supplement. I think somebody mentioned something about trying to get that group off Facebook a while ago. So this is not something that is new. This is not something that is barbaric. This is not something that is strange. It is happening. It was happening. And it's going to continue to happen because there is a huge following for that particular supplement that I'm talking about. It's still going on. There are still new parents who are being brought into that protocol. And to be fair, you can't blame the parents, because if I'm being honest, as an autistic parent, in your quest to look for services, to look for what to do with your child, when you're asking your questions, you're going to get people that will recommend all sorts of things. There is no autistic parent that would tell me that they are not using one type of supplement or something for their child. But what people need to understand is that when autistic parents go out to look for supplements for their child, is to elevate other issues that are happening with the child, like constipation, maybe rashes, skin and stuff like that. That's fine. That's fine. And if you have a child that is non-verbal, all these other things that parents do, that we do as parents, is to elevate the other issues that come with, with the child, which any other parent with a child without autism will also do the same. So let's be clear. Yeah, we go out to get supplements for your child, but you have to make sure that whatever you're doing, whatever supplements you're getting medical advice. And when you're getting medical advice, please get 3 opinions. Get a second opinion, get a third opinion, just so that you're doing the right thing. I personally, my background, I'm a biochemist, so I believe in the science. I'm a science person, Before I even give my daughter something as simple as vitamin C, I want to be sure that she's got the genetics to take it. I believe the way forward and medicine in future will be all about genetics, because I think if you know your genetic makeup, you know what to give your child, you know what not to give your child. But there is no supplement and there is no cure for autism. Autism is a way of life. They just do things differently. And the more you get to know your child, work with your child from education, personal skills, independent skills, the more you know, the more it gets easier. Trust me, it's a hard journey. It's a hard journey. I've been doing this for 19 years. It's a journey. I'm still on it. But we have to acknowledge that these things are happening, we still need to talk to the system. We still need changes in the system. The system, in my opinion, is so tick boxy, if that's a word. You know, we need more principled based policies. Now, let me explain what principle based policies are. Principle based policies are whereby, yeah, there are the facts and the boxes to tick. However, you need to kind of go outside the box to be able to make your diagnosis or be able to help the particular child right in front of you. We all know autism is a spectrum. So what applies to A doesn't apply to B. You know, so we need these conversations, and we also now there's been a shift in the conversations. We now have a lot of autistic children and adults now telling us their views on what's going on, and which is lovely, which is fantastic. But we have to understand that for all the autistic children and adults that are giving their story, it is their story. It doesn't make it gospel. It doesn't make it set in stone for the rest of the autistic individuals. If an autistic adult is giving you his story, he's giving you his story based on what he knows, being brought up in the environment that he was brought in, with the conditions that surrounded that particular individual, for him to make the informed information that he's giving to you. You cannot impose your information on someone else and think it's gospel truth. And this is why we need to have these conversations. You know, yeah, people say, oh, autistic people only see black and only see white. Yes, they see black and white based on the factors that were conditioned around them when when they are growing up. You know, I will be doing other videos as well where we will go into labels and talk about labels and whether they're right or wrong, you know. But I think for this video, I just want to talk about the article that was released on the BBC and why we did it. It was a collaboration. We sat down. We needed to bring that information out. I also saw on YouTube, I think on TikTok, Kerry, who is an autistic man, who is also an advocate, and he did a little TikTok where he pointed to my article, you know, saying 2021, and he did something like that. Now that message is actually fantastic, and I want to thank Kerry for doing that video, because it's annoying that for 2021 we're still having that discussion, but unfortunately it is real. That conversation is still going, and there are still parents falling victim to it. And the parents falling victim to this, to be honest, you can't blame them. Some of them have been stigmatized. They've got shame, blame, you know. They are living in an environment where they are vulnerable to such, you know, methods, you know. So I would love to ask him to, I would like to have a conversation with him, and I would love to ask him to use his platform to shed light on this, you know, so that we can have the conversation and we can all come together, parents, autistic community, and all the minority groups, so that we can actually make services a bit more friendly, so that we can actually reduce or maybe even eradicate such discussions and conversations, because as we all know, they are dangerous, but it is still going on. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching the article. Spread the stories, and we're going to keep talking about this. Thank you very much.